Former Deputy President Rigathi Gachagua has voiced a sharp criticism of law enforcement agencies for their failure to make arrests 2 days after the violent incident at church in Othaya, despite official assurance that swift action would be taken. His complaints come as he hosted the delegation of Nyandarua County Assembly members who had visited his Wamunyoro residence to check on his well-being following the Sunday chaos. The Sunday chaos, January 25th, 2026 incident at Uthima ACK Church in Othaya, Nyeri County, saw tear gas canisters deployed inside the church compound, worshippers injured, and multiple vehicles damaged. One of Kashagua's own car, a Toyota Land Cruiser with a registration number KDK 002, was set ablaze during the confrontation. The former deputy president recounted how attackers deflated the tires of every vehicle belonging to the church attendees and beat people outside the place of worship. Kashagas identified approximately 15 police officers as the participants in the attack, claiming they operated under the command of two bodyguards attached to woman rep security details. He detailed how this group had met at a home in Nyeri earlier that morning for a breakfast and a briefing session before proceeding to Thima armed with AK-47 rifles and tear gas canisters. The attackers arrived at the church in a matatu, bringing weapons that Kashagwa characterized as intended for lethal use. The former deputy president revealed that investigators had collected 7.2 millimeters cartridges from the scene, evidence he presented as proof that the attackers had came with deadly intent. He emphasized that the harm group had been aiming for blood, transforming what should have been a peaceful Sunday worship service into a scene of violence and chaos. Women and children were among those injured during the incident, which unfolded as congregants gathered for a religious service on Sunday. Drawing historical parallels, Gachagua compared the Othaya church attack to the January 2nd, 2008 assault in Kiambaa Church, where women and children was burned alive. The reference to one of the Kenya's darkest moments of electoral violence underscored the gravity with which he viewed the recent incident. The comparison resonates as a reminder of how attacks on places of worship carries a particular significance in Kenya's political memory. During his Tuesday, January 27, 2026 meeting with the Nyandarua MCs, Kashagwa recounted the traumatic experience endured by children, women, and men and the leaders present at the church. He described it as one of the darkest days in recent times where police attack a place of worship with what he characterized as a clear intent and instruction to kill. The former deputy president expressed appreciation to the county assembly members for showing up at his residence to offer support. Kashagwa expressed particularly frustration that 48 hours after the horrible attack, not even a single arrest has been made, despite assurance from authorities that swift action would follow. This lack of progress stood in stark contrast to the promises of a prompt investigation and accountability. The former deputy president highlighted this gap between official commitment and actual reinforcement as evidence of systemic failure in addressing the recent incident. The visiting Nyandarwan leaders listened as Gachagua detailed the sequence of events from morning proving at the Nyeri home to the violent confrontation at the church. They learned about the extensive property damage, the injuries sustained by worshippers, and the terrorizing effects of armed officers storming a religious sanctuary. The MCA's visit represents a show of a political solidarity with the former deputy president in aftermath of the attack. Gachagua took to his official X account to publicly thank the people and Nyandarua MCs for visiting, describing himself as elate by their gesture of concern. He acknowledged their willingness to check on him personally after what he termed as brutal gun attack by killer police squad. The delegation present at his Wamunyoro residence provided him an opportunity to share first-hand accounts of the charged incident with political alliance from beyond his immediate region.